All right, brothers and sisters, this is James and Nike. We are preparing to start our second Soul Liberation Radio. Soul Liberation Station. Y'all gonna have to realize I'm gonna be saying it wrong for a while. But our second Soul Liberation Radio show, live right now on Facebook and on YouTube. And I know one of you asked for a YouTube link, and actually I'm not sure what it is. I've tried to find that out. I think what you need to do is go to just put in James CNEK YouTube or James and EK YouTube, and you should be able to find the link and just hit where it. I don't know if it shows up, how it shows up, because I haven't done it personally, but you should be able to find it there. But if you're with me on Facebook right now, you're good. Again, you can go to the YouTube if you want to experience that, and if you want to chat, because there's live chat on Facebook. I mean on YouTube, which is good. Of course, if you're with me on Facebook, you can text here also, and we're going to have a guest joining us shortly on YouTube. And we're just trying to figure this all out. I've been doing the show for 6 years, but this is the first time we're doing it with Facebook Live, with YouTube Live, and just trying to find out the best ways to do everything. I had a real fun time figuring out how to do both YouTube Live and Zoom Live at the same time. So I'm learning a lot, and I'm hoping we're all learning a lot together. There's a lot going on in the world that we need to deal with, and I want to remind you that the phone number is 317-798-4085. If you want to call in, 317-798-4085. If you want to call in so that we can share in conversation. There's a lot going on, as I started to say a moment ago, in the world. And certainly we ought to be concerned about those things that are happening with the pandemic, which now they say is not as much a pandemic as before, but yet there's still those who are contracting COVID-19, the more recent ideation of it, and some are sick. And I notice a lot more people catching it. I'm not sure if that's just my observation or if that's your observation also. So we want to be careful. We want to make sure we're not spreading COVID, especially those who may be more susceptible to a serious sickness and illness because of being exposed to the COVID virus. All right. And our brother is coming in now. We're going to let you in. Now, brothers, this is what I really want to talk about today. I want us to talk about, hey, my brother, I'm going to introduce you in a second. What we want to talk about today is it's up to us. It's up to us. Reverend Jesse Jackson, many years ago, used to state, it's up to us to save us. I don't know if he still says it today, but certainly I believe that phrase is truer today than it's ever been. It's up to us to save us. And I'm specifically impacted by the murders that took place in Buffalo, New York. And I know that many people are hurting, and I don't want to, make small of those who are hurting. I want to certainly take serious what's going on with our people anywhere in the country and anywhere in the world, but specifically those who are hurting in Buffalo, those who are grieving because of the loss, the community that is shocked, and to some degree the country that is shocked. But I have some concerns. One is, where are the Black men who are so present and respected in our community, such that no one would come into our community and create that kind of havoc, take lives, cause our communities to be unsafe? Where are the Black men who have such a presence that nobody would come in and try that? I know folk in Buffalo are hurting, folk around the country are hurting, And you might feel uncomfortable with me asking this question at this moment, but I got to ask the question, and there was one brother who I saw interviewed who said that he saw the guy the day before and engaged him in conversation and knew there was something strange about his presence in that community. And so the next day he's there again and he sees the man shooting people there in Buffalo, New York. My concern is, or my question is, why wasn't he in a position either the day before or certainly the day of, as soon as this shooting popped off, call 911. I don't have a problem with calling 911 in many instances, but he should have also been able to punch an express call number in his phone in order to gather some brothers or whoever wants to come to say, hey, there's something going down right now at this store, and we need to be on point to deal with it quick, fast, and in a hurry. Where are our defenders? And I have not been shy in saying, brothers and sisters, we need to be armed. I've always been concerned. For years, I've been concerned about our churches and other institutions that do gun buybacks. I understand that there are a lot of folk who are shot with the gun that's actually in their own home. I understand that. But I'm saying that we do need to be trained. We do need to be prepared. We do need to understand how to use weapons and how to use the right mindset. I always say we need to find people who love the community, who are willing to serve in the community. And because of that commitment to serve and love, and they're being trained on how to use those weapons, I would think that would be the best possible situational condition for which we can make our communities safer. And we are not trained in that way. And so we are not feared. And anybody can feel as if they can come into our communities and do the things that they do. And again, I'm concerned about that. So today I asked Brother Michael Falker, who is a giant in my eyes and in the eyes of many, who has been promoting a Black business directory, diversity in Black business directory. And I'm going to ask you to go ahead and turn your mic on, Brother Mike. This diversity in Black business directory is one that promotes and shares so many wonderful businesses that are in the communities, parts of the communities in Indiana. And I bring it up in this context because I believe that our conversation at this moment must be, it's up to us. And so one of the things that I've been saying for so long, in addition to the fact that we need to be ready to protect our own communities, I've also been saying that we need to support our own businesses. I think that's one of the key things we need to do to help ourselves. We are waiting for too many others to help us. And it's up to us to save us. And so, Brother Michael, if you don't mind, first greetings. Thanks so much for taking this time to be here. How you doing?
Good morning, my brother. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, all right, my brother. Yes. First of all, let me say thank you very much for including me this morning, and or actually this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
And I kind of lost my picture, but it seems as though you can hear me fine. But
yeah.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry. You were talking earlier about the tragedy there, and is it Boston?
No, it's in Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo.
Right.
Yeah, talking about the tragedy in Buffalo, which is a terrible, terrible tragedy. How things like that happen. Such a senseless crime.
Yes.
There has to be something done about that. I understand that the gentleman or the perpetrator that for lack of a better word, how about the coward that did this is under arrest and is in the custody of police, which he definitely should be. Obviously, it was a very cowardly act, and he should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. That's what I had to say about that. Did you ask me? You were kind of in and out there for a minute, but did you ask me something else there, sir?
I did. What I asked was, and the theme of the show is "It's up to us." And I'm saying that there are a number of things that we need to do for ourselves in order to keep our community safe and to empower ourselves, and certainly spending our dollars in our own communities. That's one of the key things that we need to do to empower ourselves. And you are doing that and have been doing this for several years with the production of a Black Business Directory. Tell us what motivated you to start that directory and what kind of impact does it have?
Well, thank you, sir, again. Thank you for having me. What really motivated me was this, the fact that at Diversity in Black, the Diversity in Black Directory, the B.
And we got you freezing just for a moment there. And we're gonna have to expect this. This is technology, and sometimes it freezes up. And all of us who have been on YouTube have experienced those situations when the technology freezes up, and it's not like there's anything you can do about it. So I know Brother Falker will be coming back in any second. And as I said a moment ago, the Diversity in Black Business Director, and I wish I had put one inside the room here with me, but I didn't. I didn't bring one in here with me. It's a wonderful publication and has so many great businesses that are listed in. Brother Michael, we got you back. Go right ahead.
I'm sorry?
I said, we got you back. You can go right ahead.
Okay, yeah. What it did, it really motivated me to start the publication, because 99.9% of the people that I work with for a while at AT&T did not look like us.
All right.
But now I can really get back to our community, have an excellent product, a full color glossy product that's on the street, that's available for the general public, for people to use, and for people to find Black businesses. Because I think it's so very important that we spend dollars within our community, and that we do provide a vehicle that would provide the necessary information for us to find those individuals that have products, goods, services, and ideas that we want to use.
I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, which I think will make this a little bit smoother and the communication better. Stay on Zoom, keep your image on, turn your mic off. Are you on your phone or are you on your computer on Zoom?
I'm on my computer.
Okay, because it's still some of the word, most of what you said still came out distorted. This is understandable as far as me. I'm not sure how well the audience is understanding what you're saying, but let's do this. Stay on Zoom, turn your mic off, and call me on your phone, and I'll put the audio on so that people can hear you through the phone.
Rather than myself.
Yes. This should help us out a little bit. And as I said earlier, we're also live on YouTube. And yes, you can put in James and Nikkei YouTube, and then you click on my YouTube channel, go down to the bottom, and you'll see the image for Soul Liberation Station. Click on that, and then you'll have me live there on YouTube also. I don't know which one is producing the best image, the best sound. I don't know which one is best. But I want to encourage you to try that option. Brother Michael, thanks so much for calling. All right, hold on. I'm trying to adjust this phone. Give me 1 second. I have to take this cover off the phone so that I can plug the audio into it. And give me a second. We don't want to lose you. All right, there you go. We should be able to hear you loud and clear now.
All right, excellent.
Yeah, you turn it down, so now it's too loud. There we go. All right, so now you can speak, and you were saying that with diversity in Black, you have a wonderful product, a glossy magazine. How long have you all been producing the magazine in one form or another?
Yeah, we've been publishing since 2012.
Okay.
Since 2012, so this is actually our 10th year anniversary in publishing magazines and directories.
Okay, excellent. And what was the thing that motivated you to do it?
The thing that really motivated me was just to keep dollars in the Black community,
Yes,
and to provide a service that people could find people that had different services, different products, goods, and services available
right.
In the Black community for the Black consumer.
Yes, yes.
Because we as a people spend more than, my goodness, $1.3 trillion a year.
Yes.
And so that was the true motivation behind the whole picture.
Mm-hmm. And I noticed that over the years, over the last 10 years in particular, especially with the various times in which our communities have been assaulted and by police who have killed, young brothers and sisters, and some motivated by the level of crime that exists among ourselves, have engaged in different movements to increase our empowerment, and especially our economic empowerment. I know about 3 years ago, Killer Mike in Atlanta, I know we lost you again, but he'll come back. Killer Mike in Atlanta, in the Atlanta area, led a movement for us to put our dollars in Black banks, and those and other kinds of movements are a continuation of our efforts to empower ourselves, and we've got to increase those types of options. I have a specific question that I want to ask as soon as Brother Parker. I'm assuming you might be still on the phone, right?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay.
I hear.
Good.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes. Oh, loud and clear and without any obstructions. So the question I want to ask is, in these last 10 years, since you all have been doing the Diversity in Black, and again, I know it's gone under different names, magazine, have you seen Black folk increase in supporting Black businesses over the last 10 years? Is it the same, or are we still struggling to find our place in our ways to support ourselves?
Very good question, sir. But to answer your question, yes, it has definitely increased.
Good.
I think more and more people are supporting Black businesses. More and more people are aware of Black businesses, and more people want to support Black businesses, and really do believe in our mission of promoting and advertising and marketing in the Black community.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. I'm glad to hear that, because again, very often we're not sure on what ways and if people are responding to these many efforts for us to support ourselves. And again, I believe there's some steps we've made forward, but oftentimes, we make one step forward and 2 steps or 3 steps backwards. And so I'm concerned. When news was spreading yesterday, throughout the political world about the shooting that took place in Buffalo, President Biden announced that he and First Lady Biden will be traveling to Buffalo on tomorrow, to bring some comfort to the grieving community. And I said, and I still say, he really don't need to go to Buffalo. He needs to go to Conklin, New York, where this guy is from, this killer is from, and he needs to deal with whatever is there that produced someone who would go out and do these shootings. And when I think about those folk who were killed in South Carolina in that church, I'm sure the word is out there as far as what town he came from, but I haven't heard one word about who went to that town or who went to his family or who went to that community to challenge the white folk about how these violent racist killers are coming right up out of their own communities. And I guess I want to ask your thoughts on that. Am I tripping by saying no, the president should not go to Buffalo, but should go to Conklin? Maybe he should go to Conklin first and then go to Buffalo. But I just see it as fruitless, and I see it as a not distraction, but a sort of a way to take our focus off of the real issue. The real issue is we are hated and we are being murdered. If it's not by the police, now we see it's by these white supremacists who have been not just buoyed, but motivated and lifted up by the former president. And so what we see is a manifestation of the increase in white power, the developing of white power, based on the former president's own racism. And so I know I'm kind of saying a lot. So my question is, Brother Michael, and you've been on the planet for a minute, and I know you've seen a lot. But should we take some focus? Should politicians, should people of power put some focus on how these races are being generated, and not as much focus on, on the grieving Black folk?
Well, again, that's an excellent question. I think the president, in this case and situation, it certainly wouldn't hurt to go to Buffalo, where the people are really struggling and really suffering with this type of tragedy. But it certainly wouldn't hurt to go to the perpetrator's hometown just to see what type of environment he grew up in,
right,
and how racist it is, and just to find out what is going on there.
Absolutely. Okay. And again, I know some people are not going to have a position on this as I want to use the word extreme, but I don't think that's the right word. Some folk are not going to go as far as me, because I don't think he should go to Buffalo at all, personally. I think he should just go on to Conklin and go to these other communities, where these white killers, and many of them are young, where they come from, and deal with the racism there. I think that there's a very, 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 very small role that Black folk can play in dealing with the racism that is impacting America. I think the majority role has to be with white folk who are willing to step up and confront the racism in their own communities, sometimes in their own homes, and deal with it from that perspective. And then, of course, there's certain things that we need to do institutionally, our educational systems, political systems, and so many other systems that impact our lives are without question conducted in a way that continue racist attitudes. And sometimes the racist attitudes are very subtle. They're not as outright. It's not a matter of us being called the N-word, but it's sometimes very subtle in how things are done, who's lifted up or promoted in certain circumstances and situations, and a number of other things that take place that are within the systematic and institutional realities of America, and they're not being confronted, they're not being dealt with. Every now and then there's a little bit of report on it, or somebody might point and say, oh, that thing is going on over there. Black children are being locked up, or rather being punished in their schools, and sets them up for a school to prison pipeline, situation. And we say, oh, that's such a shame. Or even now, we look at this killing in Buffalo. Oh, that's such a shame. We got to do something. We got to stop the killing, without any specific statement of what's actually going to be done. to this date, right? What is this? May 16th, the legislation that would directly deal with these levels of murder that are taking place in the Black community when they are rooted in this white supremacy. When George Floyd, if there's a George Floyd legislation that has not passed the United States legislative system, the Democrats passed it in the Congress, but the Senate has not passed it. And I would just think that in this day and time, there would be enough folk to pressure these senators who all voted against it. You see what I'm saying? And so there's a problem in America. And I know I'm straying away a little bit, Brother Michael, from what we need to be talking about in terms of it's up to us, but I need to set this foundation because we would see, the images of President Biden in Buffalo and be distracted from the real issue of the level of racism that exists in this country and it's not being dealt with or confronted. So let me ask this question. How does Black folk supporting and promoting their businesses in a diversity in Black business directory help us to save us?
Well, it impacts us in a lot of different ways. It really does. It impacts us in so many different ways. But if we support each other and keep our dollars in the Black community, it will strengthen us as a people.
Right.
I mean, I think it will help us in a lot of ways because it will keep the dollars in the Black community. I mean, you're talking about $1.3 trillion that is spent in the Black community. I know that's on a national level, but that kind of gives you an idea of our buying power,
right?
And our power in general. And it's something that we really need to harness and we really need to take advantage of because there's some Black folk in our community here that are really doing quite well.
Yeah.
And they're willing to support Black businesses, but they just don't know where they are, who they are, or where to find them.
That's right. Absolutely true. And so it's good that we have the magazine to help promote it. And let me also say this as a form of disclosure. Last year and this year, I'm actively participating in securing businesses for the directory, and I am receiving remuneration. I'm getting some money for it. I want to say that up front because I'm doing the show, and so there is sort of a personal interest and let me say that, and everybody who knows what I've been doing with Soul Liberation Radio over the years know that I don't just do shows. In fact, at this moment, I can't think of any other guest that I've had on the show where I was, celebrating or bringing attention to something where I was actually getting some money. We announced the fact that we have sponsors and things of that nature, and we're going to get back to listing our sponsors and advertisers in the next few weeks. But I just want to say up front that, there's a way that you can support NDK and support Soul Liberation Radio, and Diversity in Black is a sponsor of Soul Liberation, was a sponsor of Soul Liberation Radio, and we're rolling that over so that you're now a sponsor of Soul Liberation Station. But I have to have a conversation with all our sponsors about what that means so that we can make sure we do this with their full approval. So there's a little personal interest there, which should motivate y'all that much more to go ahead and get your ad in the Diversity in Black business directory. You can get in touch with me. You can get in touch with Brother Michael Falker, and so that we can make that happen. So if someone wants to get an ad, what does that look like? What are the costs? What is the process, and what's the timeline?
Yes, our prices are very, very reasonable. As far as advertising, our publication. First, let me say, we will be at Indiana Black Expo this summer, July, and our price is anywhere from $300 to $2,500.
Right.
For big corporate businesses. et cetera. And we welcome all.
Mm-hmm.
And before I say another word, let me say that I thank you so much for contributing and helping the process, because from what I understand, here in the city of Indianapolis, here in just Indianapolis alone, there's more than 1,500 Black businesses here in the city, which is, it's almost impossible for one person to contact that many people.
Right.
And so I salute you and applaud you for helping us out in our effort.
Glad to. Excellent.
Okay. But yeah, a person is welcome to contact you at social radio or myself. I can be reached at 317-445-4462. Again, that's 317-445-4462.
All right. And also the rates for nonprofits, for churches, for Black institutions, those rates are different. How different are those rates, and why are they different?
Yeah, well, because they are different, and those rates are different for nonprofit organizations because they're just that. They're nonprofit. They make a profit, but it's a smaller amount.
Right.
And so we try to make it economically possible for all businesses.
Excellent.
Those rates run anywhere from like $250 to about $500.
Okay.
For not-for-profit businesses.
Excellent. All right. And right now, to the best of my knowledge, this is the only Black directory in the state of Indiana right now. Am I right in that? That's annually published.
Yeah, I have not heard of any other. I have not heard of any other. We are publishing here in Indianapolis and South Bend, and also in the Gary area.
Right.
So we have 3 separate, distinct directories.
Excellent. And also, if you have a service, a business of some kind, and maybe you can't afford to do an ad, or maybe you want to get a feel for it, or for whatever reason, you just want to be listed. Are we still just listing people in the publication who want to just be listed?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. If you want to just get a free listing or something in the publication, we can do that for you also.
Excellent. All right, brothers and sisters, we want to hear from you. The phone number is 317-798-4085. 317-798-4085. I want you to call in, and this is because we have brother phone, I'm going to have to switch the sound from one to the other, so it'll be clumsy. But we'll have it worked out, so that won't have to happen next week. But if you want to call in, I want to hear your thoughts about how it is up to us to save us, what things we've got to do to help us be what it is, who it is we need to be as a people. Right now, it's 36 minutes after the hour. The phone number again is 317-798-4085. 317-798-4085. Yeah, I want to make sure I was saying it right. And I want you to call in and share your thoughts about the things that we've talked about. We talked about the directing the diversity in Black business directory. We've talked about the issues related to the murders that took place in Buffalo, and you've heard my concerns about whether or not the president should go there. You've heard my concerns about how Black folk ought to be supporting, or rather protecting their own communities and not depending on others to protect it. And you've heard my opinion about how supporting our own businesses is one of those ways that we can prove and show how it's up to us to save us. It's one of those ways that we can save ourselves. So if you want to call in, I certainly want to hear from you. 317-798-4085. And I want to make sure that the phone is not on mute, because you might be calling and I'm not hearing you. And I'm pretty sure that it's not. So if you want to call me, we certainly want to hear from you. So we have much to do as a people. And also, I want to say this again. I said it last week, but there may be those of you who are with us today who were not with us last week, and that is that Soul Liberation Radio is now Soul Liberation Station, and we're going to be doing some other things because we still have some other participants, and specifically Sister Lena Moore, who's been an active part of Soul Liberation Radio for the last 2 to 3 years. We still are going to do some things. It's just that we have to shift the time, and that makes it complex because she works, and so we have to shift the time because we are going to be doing the show, and not going to be. We are doing the show at a time that works well for. If you could just go ahead and mute yourself, Brother Mike. I think that's where we get the sound. Thank you. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's all right. No problem. We're doing the show at a time that fits well with the American audience and the Zimbabwe audience. I think all of you, or very close to most of you who are listening right now, know that I am moving to Mutare, Zimbabwe in August. And so right now we're already starting to bridge the communication gap. I'm going to be bringing on folk from Mutare, in some of the shows as we prepare to make the move. And so right now here in Indianapolis, I'm doing the show at noon. Noon in Indianapolis, which is Eastern Time Zone, is 6 p.m. in Mutare, Zimbabwe, which is GMT +2. They have a different time zone, GMT. The +2 means 2 hours, so they add 2 hours to the regular GMT time, and that's how they get the time zone for Mutare, Zimbabwe. And so when I move to Zimbabwe, then I'll be doing the show at 6 p.m. there, which will actually be 12 noon here. I hope that makes sense. And just the same as we are connected right now in this place and in this space, this technological space, we're going to be connected there. And I'm really excited about the possibilities of developing and strengthening a conversation between African people on the continent and those in the diaspora. And so that's why we're on at this time. I didn't do it on the weekend because the weekend, for me is a little bit active. And so I just didn't think I would be able to do it at noon, either here or 6 p.m. there in a consistent way. And I didn't want us to have breaks, but I can always do it on Monday, whether it be here or there. And that's why I chose this time. So we're not getting any calls. That's fine. We're gonna continue to do the show over the weeks and months to come. And I know we'll build the audience back up. Not having the radio option, it certainly impedes the conversation to some degree, but the more we promote the Facebook Live and the YouTube option, you would be really amazed at how many people listen to YouTube Live. Now, right now, I think I don't even think it's 10, I don't think I even have 10, I think the term is subscribers right now in YouTube. So if you're listening and you're not a subscriber to my channel, James and EK channel, I want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And what we need to do is we really need to get that subscription. I have over 5,000. Well, that's true. I have roughly altogether with all the Facebook pages I have right now, I have something like maybe closer to 8,000, 9,000 Facebook friends, across the different Facebook pages that I have. And so I need at least 1,000 of those to go ahead and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. And since I'm getting the hang of this thing, I think I am. I'm going to be doing more promoting and encouraging folk to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and so that we can expand this audience. And so they can literally be just as well, maybe not just as many, but a good number of folk listening, on a regular basis to Soul Liberation Radio, Soul Liberation Station, because you are with us on YouTube Live or you're with us on Facebook Live. And we'll always have an option for you to call in wherever we are. and you won't have to call an international number. You may have to get WhatsApp to call in, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure out a way to make sure we can keep the communication open and everybody can be involved. Brother Falker, as we are 43 minutes after the hour, and I got about 15 minutes or so left. And we've talked about the directory to a good degree. And let me make one other disclosure. Brother Falker is also a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, as am I, and so we also have that connection. And I wanted to make that disclosure. I don't want you those who are watching see that there's a crest, an emblem on my wall representing the fact that I'm an Omega man. But this is not just about being Omega. This is not just being. In fact, it's not just about being Black, in my opinion, because I think if much is to change, it will have to involve a lot of folk outside of us. When you look at the history of Black liberation in America, Black movements, Black insurrections, in some instances, you'll certainly see that much of our progress involved others who said that they see the value and the need to support Black empowerment or Black liberation, Black freedom, and they got involved, and some are even involved to this day. And so that's a good thing. So, Brother Falker, any wisdom, any words of wisdom you want to share about anything that we've talked about today?
No, I really want to just salute and bow down to you, because I mean your program, what you do, is so important to the community. Right. And I have 110% respect for you and what you do, your vision, and the fact that you're going across the water to Africa, to the otherland. That is something that's truly beautiful.
Thank you.
And I just keep all the peace, blessings that you might have.
I appreciate it.
Because that is really admirable, and it's something that really needs to be done. And it's a matter of just applying yourself, knowing your direction, and knowing where you. And it seems as though your compass works very well.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm just trying to do my part as the Most High guides me, and I'm so glad that I have you and so many other wonderful brothers and sisters who encourage and support what we're doing and play the roles that you do. And I'm honored to be a part of this Diversity in Black family, Diversity in Black Business Directory family, because I think this is so important, because this is really how we met. Somebody in the NAACP meeting said, hey, you're doing that directory. There's this guy named Anike who publishes a list every year of Black-owned businesses. And that's how we first connected, because you reached out, and that was before I, began the process for becoming a member of Omega Psi Phi. And so, yeah, I've been doing this, and I just do it because, we need it. I really do believe that there's the potential for us to overcome many of the challenges that face us as a people, but we got to do the work. We got to play our parts. We can't leave it to just a handful of folk, and far too often folk are not doing what they should. I want to I'm pulling up my other computer to see if I can see some of the comments that are being made today with us. And this one over here that I was looking at, it looks like it's frozen. Let me see. Yeah, it's not letting me do anything. And these are not bad computers I got up in here. They're not, super expensive or nothing like that. But this one over here I hadn't turned on yet, so I'm just turning it on. And I want to make sure I don't have. That's what I did want to do. Cut volume down on that one. And I want to see the comments are going to pop up in a second. There are a couple of comments here. I'm thankful that Elder Lionel Rush has joined us, and he put in the comment. He says, "Whiteness don't want to speak about CRT, critical race theory, but they want to talk about replacement theory." And many of you may know that replacement theory is one of the motivating factors in the killing that took place in Buffalo on Saturday. This guy, um, you know, presented himself as a proponent of that theory. And replacement theory comes out of, and I can't think of the name of the French. There was a French man, a man from France, who put forth this theory about Jews and others being engaged in an effort to replace white folk in different parts of the world. And so this replacement theory is spread from France to Germany to so many other countries around the world. And certainly here in America, they've been talking about replacement theory for a few years now. But critical race theory, to me, is such an interesting thing because on one hand, much of what's being said about critical race theory is untrue, in terms of there being this grand effort to show how evil the white man is. And so they've somehow or another, Black folk have been able to systematize how whites are educated to make them feel remorse and grief and pain. And I don't know what they expect to come about. And I'm saying they, in terms of white folk, in their criticism of critical race theory, expect these white folks who are impacted and whose feelings are now hurt because they heard some lesson about how racism impacted folk. Yeah, that whole thing about critical race theory is a joke to me, in the sense that not the actual, what's the word I'm looking for? The actual, approach. I think the approach is legitimate, but the argument that it is this major thing that is impacting education and politics and no, that's not true. That's a joke. This is absolutely not true, and there's nothing but a distraction that's been put forth. And it's unfortunate that so many of our people have fallen into this distraction and have now been led away from really dealing with the issue of white supremacy and the ways in which we are being harmed. So thank you, Elder Rush, for making that point. Sister Sandra, my sister from Chicago, also stating her agreement about some things that were shared. Thank you, Sister Renita, for sharing this post on your page. Sister Mani is on our page also, and sharing some information about the quality of the show on the respective stations, both Facebook Live and YouTube. And so she also states absolutely the subtitles. I'm sorry, I guess that's supposed to be subtitles. Yeah, I'm assuming you meant subtitles of racism. Oh no, maybe you meant subtleties. Yeah, I think there's let me put my glasses on, maybe I can read it better. And she did write subtleties, my mistake. The subtleties of racism are many. Another such example of this would be the recent purchase of the social media platform Twitter by Elon Musk. And as you know, he's put that, you may not know, he's put that purchase on hold for a ridiculous reason. I'm not even gonna go into it. This is very dangerous as it equates to power in terms of hate speech and propaganda. He plans to allow Trump the free use of the platform. We must see this in terms of an upcoming presidential election / campaign season, recent changes in Roe v. Wade, critical race theory, information control, and the voting rights bill still under attack, and what they mean together. This is the same way Hitler was able to rise to power and reign in terror before folk even knew what had really happened. Wake up, people. That was a comment on our Facebook page from Sister Imani. And so we do have a lot of work to do and reasons to be concerned. And since she mentioned the issue of the purchase of Twitter, again, this shows how they are willing to use whatever means and resources they can to impact, this whole reality of racism in America in a way that it will not fare well for us. And so I'm wondering, and let me ask this to Brother Mike on the form of a question. And I know I'm throwing this at you kind of, off on the fly, but
no problem,
yeah,
my brother.
since Elon Musk is still in process to purchase Twitter, and it may not happen, but if it does, let's say he does actually go forward and go through with the purchase, should Black folk, and let me say this before I even ask the full question, he's already stated that he will intentionally give access to certain persons who continuously promote, racist propaganda. He's saying that the Twitter modem is one that should be accessed and open to everybody, especially white supremacists. He didn't use those words. I'm using those words, but that's what he means. And so, if that's his intent, and he's already stated that that's his intent, should Black folks stay on Twitter?
Wow, that's a very good question. It would be something that you strongly have to consider boycotting.
Right.
I mean, if he's going to allow people with the far right ideology
Mm-hmm.
and people that are white supremacists,
Right.
people that that are not for us, and
Right.
don't believe that level playing field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something that we would probably want to stay away from.
Right.
Because we don't need that in America.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many things that divide us now.
Absolutely.
I mean, we are in the United States of America, not the divided States of America.
Mm-hmm.
And something that will, like that, if Elon Musk was to allow that, is something that we have to strongly consider staying off of because of the recent ideas.
Right.
We just need that. We just don't need that in good old U.S.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting, again, the many ways that America does not hold true to its name as the United States of America, does not hold true to its creed of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for everybody in America. It continues to put its foot on our neck so that we can never pursue happiness or have life or liberty. And it's done sometimes in very overt ways and many times, probably most times, in very covert ways, but yet we are not rising up and saying, talking about Black folk, and those who see the injustice. We're not rising up to a level to really confront it and put it to rest. And just the same as, I'll say this, I'm very much pro-Black, but I'm not anti-white. I'm not anti-Asian, anti-Hispanic. I'm not anti any of that. In fact, I think that Black folk need to be really intentional about developing linkages with the Hispanic community. We really need to partner with the Hispanic community. We have a lot of similar interests. We've been impacted by the political process in many of the same ways. There's some of the same racism impacting both of us. So we really need to be, and Hispanics right now, the minority, I'm sorry, the term that they use, majority minority. So we do need to be connecting with our Hispanic brothers and sisters. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I don't hate any other people because I'm pro-Black. And so similarly, I think that America can embrace and appreciate its diversity, but not have to step on somebody else. One person didn't have to step on another in order to celebrate who they are. We can share values. I think the values of the Bill of Rights are good values. I really do believe that, but we're not all living up to it. You know, we're living up to it in with voice, but not with actions. And when I'm saying we, and I'm talking about what you said, Brother Michael, the United States of America is not being the United States. In fact, it's less the United States than it was, 50 years ago. It's becoming, well, that's not fair. Let me see. It's probably more racist then as it is now. But the point is, there have been so many folk who have come on the political scene, many in the Democratic Party, some in the Republican Party, who have really advocated justice for all. And now that message is getting lost in the barrage of lies that are being told, even about whether or not the current president won the election. I mean, there's so many lies that are just flying left and right, and most of it is springing up out of the Republican Party. And I used to be one of those folk who I didn't vote party. I voted whatever was in the black interest in the best interest of the black community. But now I don't see on the horizon any Republican that I would support for anything. Because even if it's a particular Republican who's probably a good person in most cases, to put them in power in this day and time when even quote, see when we used to have that term good white folk. We got some good Republicans, they may say. Ain't no good Republicans anymore, because as long as you are accomplice, or as long as you are silent in this moment when folk need to speak out about what's happening in America. We are seeing things happen in America politically, economically, even in health and education that we've never seen before. This is not the time to be silent. This is the time to be active. And I'm glad that Diversity in Black Business Directory is active. Any final words you want to say? And please give your number again so folk who want to reach out can reach out.
Yes, please, reach out to me. I'm gonna share with you quickly two numbers: 317-602-9869 or 317-445-4462.
All right.
Okay, and feel free to reach out to me. You can email me at mfalker. That's FALKER, Falker at Diversity in Black, and I will get your email. I respond to all emails and calls. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for being with us. Really appreciate you. And brothers and sisters, thanks so much for joining us on Soul Liberation Station. Again, our second week of Soul Liberation Station. This is our 7th year of this effort. We started Soul Liberation Radio 6 years. We've gone through a full 6 years, and now we're entering our 7th year now at Soul Liberation Station, and we want you to be a part of the revolution. We certainly encourage you to post, if you're on Facebook, like and post this on your page so that other people can be recipients of this good information. We encourage you again to become a subscriber to my YouTube page, James Anike YouTube page, so that we can expand our audience locally, nationally, and internationally. If we all do it together, and then when you take this post, you can share it. You can also share this post from YouTube, whichever one is giving you the best quality. I encourage you to use it so that we can expand. So again, thank you, brothers and sisters, for being with us. I hope that you've been blessed by the information that we've shared, and we certainly want to continue to expand our efforts. And we can't do it alone; we can do it together, and that's what we want to do. I'm gonna work all these little technical things out so we can have this music right next time too. So thank you so much for being with us. My phone number is 317-529-3768. 317-529-3768. And let's stay in touch. Peace and blessings. Thanks again, Brother Palmer.
Peace and blessings to you, my brother. Excellent job, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.